Hello, hola, and buenas, buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. On tonight's episode, we'll be reacting to the LA Galaxy's meaningful 1-0 home win over the San Jose Earthquakes. We'll look at the moment where all could have gone wrong for the G's, and we'll explore how the Galaxy pulled 3 points out of the mouth of adversity and took down their northern rival. We'll also look ahead to the Galaxy's weekend trip to Canada as they are reunited with a former G, Jalen Neal. Plus, is the playoffs format changing again? All that and more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. GJ, you know what to do. Spin that track. G's up.
Yeah. Let's get it started with a new year, new me. Cuna Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 stars on the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanny when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. Es La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana. I am one of your co-hosts, Rob Jalon, and you can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. Thank you so much for being here for this humble little podcast made for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you soccer fans, of course, made with love. And after doing a little research on one of our guests tonight, I'm sure that phrase "made with love" will resonate. We have tonight as our special guests Phil Perron and Natalie Bonilla, 2 of the commissioners of the DD Soccer League. They'll be here tonight talking about that new league and a little bit of Galaxy tie-in as well. And guys, we have a great show for you tonight. As usual, I have my co-host. He's back. I was able to pull him from his vacation because the Galaxy pulled off a big one, a win over the northern rival, a man down. So he had to be on. He said, I can't miss this one. And Andita Kirana from the other land and enjoying the best that the world has to offer. Papa, how do you feel?
Oh man, well, first of all, I'm tired. I'm still jet lagged. Like I still can't get over this jet lag. I'm in an undisclosed location in the middle of the Mediterranean, and that's all I'm going to say. But look, the Galaxy pull off a blinder like this, and yeah, I texted her. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything that I can to get on the show. I'm going to catch maybe a couple fades, but it's okay. It'll be worth it because the Galaxy got a win, Papa. The Galaxy actually won a stinking game. By the way, I hope you guys, I don't have my setup today, so everyone in the chat, I hope you guys can hear me and I'm coming through live and direct.
You sound great.
Everything's okay and all that good stuff. But yeah, I see a couple people in the chat. Cool, Will. Yeah, it's good to be back, man. Good to see you. Nightmare, good to see you as well. Just showing love to everyone in chat. But Baba, we've got a huge show today. I mean, there's so many Galaxy themes that we want to talk about. Obviously, the big win. I know fans are chat's gonna go off on that in terms of what they saw and how they felt. And I mean, I wasn't in the stadium. You were in the stadium, so I'm curious to hear all the chat reaction in terms of everyone that was at the stadium, like the roller coaster of emotions, the dread that I felt at 45 minutes, for sure. But you know how we do it on the show, Papa. One word reaction. I'm gonna throw it over to you first. I'm gonna throw it over to you. There's so many words to describe this game, but what's the one for you?
Man, it's honestly, I'll tell you what I reacted immediately in the moment. I just said SOS, and it was because it wasn't just the play itself; it was everything around the play. I mean, it was an example of Hack's passing range to go ahead and get it into Royce. Royce's cool, calm to get it into Harbor Miller, and then the audacity of Youth to bear down on goal. But then what we know about Harbor is that he's a player that's beyond his years, and he picks his head up, shows that poise to play that ball across to JP, a perfect ball as well, and JP just has to tap it in. So yeah, así es. And God, I wish we've said this before. I wish every game were an El Tráfico or a Cali Clásico, because they got up for it yesterday. And like I said, así es. Que así sigan. Yeah. That's what they got to do. Like, that's the blueprint, son. Do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do it again, but in a hopefully more of a traditional way, because I'll tell you, my one-word reaction at 45 minutes was very different than my one-word reaction
of course.
90 minutes.
So all day.
So to that point, like I have a phrase, like really this game to me was Jekyll and Hyde. That's what it felt like. It was a complete Jekyll and Hyde. It was a tale of two halves.
So the best and the worst of the Galaxy.
The absolute best and the absolute worst of this team. And I saw, shout out to your co-host on Monday, Dylan from COC Network. So shout
Big
out to Dylan.
Shout out him.
He did an amazing job. So shout out to him. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But in his 5 things, like, he used the word confusing. And I think that's totally apropos to this Galaxy team. Like, the Jekyll and Hyde, just we can't still make sense of this team. And I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, and maybe it's something's brewing on the end of the horizon. But Papa, this was a Jekyll and Hyde game. I'm just glad the Galaxy got 3 points out of it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it was. It could have been very different. We could be having a way different pod today had that goal not come, and we would be talking about 2 games in a row with a red card and where's the discipline and stuff like that. We still need to talk about that, but now we get to talk about it, as a byproduct of a win, rather than a win wasn't had because of this, or even worse, a loss was had because of this. And again, they got up for it and they were able to prevent that. So kudos to them. We'll get into all that. Like I mentioned, we have some great guests here. And also, you guys are here. Cuneros, thank you so much for being here with us. As always, we are on the march to 1,000. We are like 50 away, something like that, like 50 and change. So help us out. Go ahead and tell a loved one, put someone on. If you like soccer, if you like LA Galaxy soccer, go ahead and subscribe, like and subscribe. Ananda says something about 1/3 of you guys that listen to the show don't subscribe, and you guys are here anyway. Go ahead and hook a boy up. Ananda will take a shot with you, I promise. Anyway, he's pretty far away, so it's going to take a moment, but he'll take that shot eventually. Like I said, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you have something to say today, if you need to get something off your chest, go ahead and hit up the super chats. Those are available. If you have something to ask Phil or Natalie about this new league that's coming up for Los Angeles, go ahead and hit those super chats. And I've already told you guys before, Pravda Galaxiana is on its way. Work is being done on that as we speak. And of course, if you guys don't know what Pravda Galaxiana is, that's the written arm of Laguna Galaxiana. You'll have a couple of articles from yours truly, and maybe a couple of guest spots from some people that you guys know. So anyway, Ananda, anything to add before we get into some shout outs?
You covered most of it, but of course you can follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Of course, you can find all of us on all of your favorite socials at Laguna Galaxiana is the handle, the name of the show. Pretty simple there. And of course, Papa, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, porque en mi caso es buenos días. En tu caso es buenas noches. Right? This is the multiverse, like we're international, Papa. We're shut up, Pitbull. We international. We out there.
Mr. Worldwide es de vato
Mr. Worldwide, exactly. Pero, like I said, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches. Bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. No es un capítulo de Sad Foo Hours. It's elated, happy Foo Hours today. Let's get it.
doesn't it feel good to finally get to talk about something other than a loss?
It feels good.
Oh, if you
That's a
know, you
throwback.
know.
If you
Yeah,
know, you
yeah,
know.
for sure. Okay, well, let's get into these shoutouts. Last show we had Preston Judd grace us with his presence. Former G Preston Judd. That is, of course, now he plays for the San Jose Earthquakes. We got to see him last night line up for San Jose. Check out that interview. It's in the back catalog. And of course, again, you guys will know when we have those guests when you like and subscribe. Happy birthday.
By the way,
Yeah.
really quick, I was holding my breath when Preston had that chance. We might talk about that later, but I just want to throw that in there now. And I was like, dude, he was going to be Nostradamus because he said it on the pod, and I was like, damn. But the Galaxy got lucky. We'll take it.
I was like, yeah, he did that for me. He was like, that one's for Rob. Anyway, let's say happy birthday to Eric Tommy. The Galaxy winger, first year. It feels like we hardly know him. Pobrecito has been injured, but he's 32 today. Hopefully he was surrounded by friends and family, and he had a beautiful day. And hopefully he gets to get on the pitch for an extended spell.
Yep.
Yep. Congrats to Joseph Paintsel for making the bench of the MLS Team of the Week. He had the game-winning goal, of course, against San Jose, and for his efforts, he gets that Team of the Week nod. Congratulations to him. And keeping it with some LA Galaxy team news, the VCFC update, that Galaxy's second team, they'll be in action on Sunday, August 23rd against Portland Timbers 2 at 7 p.m. at home at the Willie Roll. Guys, I know everybody's expectant for the LA Galaxy's latest signing, Sergio Roberto. He's waiting. Galaxy fans are waiting. We're waiting to cover him. Well, one of our colleagues, Damian Calhoun, has reported that Sergio Roberto will be arriving on Friday. Qué bueno saberlo. Ya era tiempo. He probably will not be seeing any kind of action or anything against Montreal, but he should be ready for the next match. At the very least, available. So, bienvenido a Los Angeles a Sergio Roberto. And Ananda, you're there in Spain. Did that make any kind of news at all? Like the fact that Sergio Roberto is hitting the Galaxy?
No one really knew about it. I told my wife's family, who are like, obviously they're culés, they're huge Bar supporters, and they were like, "Oh, I no sabía." Well, there you go. Because he's been he's been out of the Barca system now for a couple of years. He's been in Como for a couple of years, but I think they were happy. Like most of them are like, he's really going to help the Galaxy. He's still a very good player. He was very good in Barcelona. He raises the technical level right away. So wish we had him for this weekend, but I hope to see him very soon. It looks like maybe next week.
Yeah, it could be as soon as next week, hopefully. Man, it seems like MLS changes their postseason format every year, and it looks
Womp.
like yes, Wolf, right? It looks like they're set to do it again, Ananda, next year. It was reported by Pablo Mara and The Athletic, as well reported on this that MLS is planning an expansion and a shift in their format. That would mean a change from 18 teams to 20 teams, and that would coincide with the shift to the fall to spring calendar that, of course, is happening in 27-28. And during the or at least for playoff purposes, since they're going to be most likely going to the divisional system, at least for the playoffs, the only thing that matters is one single table, and the top performers get 2 losses, so it's a double elimination for the top seeds. Like I mentioned, 20 teams will now be in the playoffs. I mean, the criticism before was there were too many with 18. I can only imagine what the criticism will be like now. I mentioned the top performers will be double elimination. Well, the bottom 8 performers, the bottom 8 qualifiers, that is 13 through 20, will play a play-in round, an initial round to advance, that is, and there will be reseeding. So teams will be reseeded and kind of get rewarded for performing well during this. And it all culminates in a prospective MLS Cup final on May 21st, 2028. Of course, this is not official. This is not law yet. This is not gospel. So, we have to wait and see on if this gets voted into law or if they actually officially change it. But for the moment, this could be the new format for MLS, and it's kind of the model for what they do in Australia, apparently. I did a little digging into that, and I don't really see a lot of criticisms for it. So who knows? Maybe we'll like it. At least the games will be a lot more meaningful. At least it won't be 3 games in the single round anymore. So there's that. But any thoughts on this one, Ananda?
Yeah, just another no for me. No. Like we got to reduce this. Like we've got to increase the sporting level of this. Like we can't have the way it 20 the thing that gets me is the 20 teams. It's like, come on, you got to make the regular season meaningful. I mean, if anything, reduce the number of teams, right? Or have some sort of maybe alternate play-in structure or whatever. But you've got to increase the sporting level of MLS because again, blinders off around the world, sporting wise, it's kind of considered a joke among some fans, right? Because of the playoff structure and how many teams get in and all that stuff. So yeah. No.
Well, you guys heard it from Ananda. I don't think he was I don't think he waffled on that one. I think he was very firm. So it's a no for him. I with anything MLS, we hear a proposal and then they dramatically change it. So let's see what it'll look like in its final form. But with anything MLS, there are surprises, and there were a couple of surprises this MLS match day. So let's get you ready for your MLS match day 21 roundup. The Galaxy's next opponent, Montreal, saw Columbus away from home 2-1. They beat them 2-1. And then Chicago won by the same scoreline, also on the road, with Robert Lewandowski scoring the game-winning penalty. New England also took 3 points away, beating DC United 3-0 behind, and an Al-Hassan Yusuf hat trick. Evander kept doing Evander things, being sick with it generally, by scoring the winner for Cincinnati at home in a 2-1 win. Sporting Kansas City and St. Louis City each grabbed a point in a 1-1 tie game in Kansas City. Philadelphia and Inter Miami tied at 2-2 in Philly. Toronto and Charlotte kept the tie train going with a 3-3 draw in Toronto. Nashville stole 3 points from the New York Red Bulls with Maxwell Wolecki's injury time winner for the 1-0 away win. Atlanta United won their second straight. Atlanta United, 2 in a row. Who would have thunk? Beating Minnesota 2-1 as visitors. Austin FC beat Seattle by the same scoreline. Colorado shut out LAFC at home 1-0 to hand LAFC their second straight loss. Dallas and RSL played a 7-goal thriller in Utah with the Texas team prevailing 4-3. Portland brought San Diego back down to earth with the 3-1 home win. And Houston, you surprise, continued their good form by beating Vancouver in Vancouver to keep the top spot in the Western Conference. Well, your leaders are now Houston, again, surprise, surprise, and Nashville, who has been leading in the East the entire time. And speaking of leaders, every good enterprise, or in this case, if you're MLS, every good enterprise needs good heads to get it off the ground and make sure that it is achieving its aims. And today, we are hoping to achieve our aims by bringing you some very special guests. We are fortunate enough to sit today with 2 of the commissioners of the DD Soccer League, a new rec league here in Los Angeles. Please welcome to the show, Phil Perrone and Natalie Bonilla. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Hey,
welcome, guys.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I do like your piñata. That is bloody awesome. Natalie, that is pretty chill. So, guys, I know there are some Galaxy links here. Natalie, I've been told about your Galaxy fandom. Is that true, or are you a G fan? How ardent are you?
Well, I remember I was like 6 years old. We went to Griffith Park as children, and I remember meeting like some of the players. It wasn't Kobe Jones, but it was like some of the players. I forgot the guy's name, but they were there signing like merch, and we used to go every 4th of July.
The 4th of July games are amazing. Yeah, you like a lot of us, had that galaxy moment there when we were young, right? So it's good that you've been a G since hitting Griffith Park as a youth, and um, you know Phil, is Natalie the biggest G that you know of in the league, or is that someone else?
I'm a slightly smaller G than Natalie. I believe I went to the MLS opening game at the Rose Bowl
Wow.
when the Galaxy used to play there, and it was a big deal and huge core memory for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wasn't there. I remember watching it, and it was bloody amazing. Guys, I also heard some more rumors on you, Phil. I heard that you used to play at Upland Celtic, the same youth club that LA Galaxy legend, U.S. Men's National Team legend Landon Donovan came through at. So played at a pretty proficient level at the very least. I mean, how far did you think soccer was going to take you when you were younger?
It was my entire life, man. And I jokingly say that music got in the way. I played all the way up until 15. I went to Belgium and played in a tournament over there. But funny story about the Celtic, I got cut from the team actually, because when I was growing up, I had a huge growth spurt, and I had this thing called Osgood Slaughter, which is like where your growth plates separate in your knees, and it's just bone on bone. And
that sounds painful.
It was very painful. It's better now. And I got cut. And God bless my mom, rest in peace. She was like, listen, we're going to make you a goalie. And she got me a goalie trainer. And then I got picked up by the Claremont Stars. And I was the backup goalie on the team a year ahead of my age group. And that's where I learned everything I knew about goalie. And then I ended up going to Belgium. But when I got back from Belgium, I skipped tryouts at Damien High School to go jam with my band. And my band was always giving me a hard time because we were getting shows and I would have soccer tournaments. So I had to pick one.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned music a couple of times, and I mean, I'm gonna let you kind of tell it, but you ended up making your career in music. So tell us more about that career, Desert Days, and obviously with what you're doing and what you and Natalie and the rest of the commissioners are building. Soccer never really left your life, right?
No, I missed it. And I would watch it and I would get that feeling that I feel like we all get when we're watching it. We just want to be out there, But the really brief version is I started touring very young at the age of 15 in 2001. And in 2012, we started the Desert Days Festival. Like everything we do, and this is also true for the soccer league, is it's driven by heart and soul, Like Natalie and I have known each other for over a decade, same with her brother Daniel and the other commissioner, George. And I actually played on a soccer team together when we were 10 years old. So we kind of approach organizing and, leading the league with heart and soul. And that's the same thing about the music festival. And, the whole reason why we started this league is because we wanted to build the community here in Los Angeles, which is mostly a musical community, but it's been really interesting to find out how much it overlaps with the soccer community. So many people in the league are music people, but they're also totally soccer people. And we wanted to build that community outside of the nightlife and the clubs and the house parties and the bars, like in the sunshine, sweating, getting exercise, playing this game that we all love. And we've seen the joy that it brings to all the players. And for us as people working hard behind the scenes to make it organized and competitive, it really fills us with joy to see their smiles. And, Ananda plays with us, and, he can attest to just how much fun it is,
Yeah, no, super fun, and an amazing community of people. Phil, I was gonna say, like, I obviously have interacted with you guys, and it's been awesome, and meeting everyone in the community. But for maybe someone in chat or someone listening to this, and they're thinking about, joining the league and everything like that, what would you say? What would you tell them? Like, what's the community like, and is it for people that have played, or they haven't played in years, or how would you describe it to someone who's listening to this for the first time?
I would say all are welcome. We've got beginners, intermediate, advanced. If you check out our Instagram, it's in my tag there. It's DD Soccer League LA, or DD Soccer League LA. We've got a forum link to sign up for season 2, which is going to start in November. For the first season, which is kicking off this Sunday at Glass Hill Park Rec, we've got 8 teams, 80 players. We've got uniforms. And it's
Better
really
badass, by the way. I'm gonna pull it up on the slides for everyone that's on YouTube right now. Yeah, really badass. The patches as well.
Shout out to the Desert Days designer Andrew McGranahan. He designed all of our stuff. He's one of the best. But what we've been telling players is if you sign up for the November League, then we'll add you to a team, because we're expanding the number of teams in November. But what we'll also do is add you to the list of reserve players for season 1, because none of us are spring chickens, and somebody's bound to get hurt, knock on wood. But also scheduling conflicts and whatnot, so there's bound to be some spots that open up week to week. So yeah, hit us up, hit the Instagram, and tomorrow our website goes live. We can't do anything halfway, so we're keeping track of Golden Boot race, Golden Glove race, top assists, and standings and all that stuff. And the website will be the best place to kind of keep track of that as we go. The league's going to be 7 weeks of group stage, and then a few weeks of knockout stage, semifinals and finals. And it's crazy. And I'll let Natalie sort of pick up where I leave off here. But, we started doing these pickup games like a decade ago, and kind of picked it back up seriously this March, and here we are. It's August, and this thing that kind of sounded like maybe a little more than we bargained for, we're actually pulling it off, and people are engaged, and we just can't wait to kick it off this Sunday.
Yeah, and you guys mentioned it takes a lot of work. So Natalie, sorry, I don't know you familiar like that yet. So anyway, Natalie, you guys have obviously put a lot of work into this, right? I mean, you guys have awesome jerseys. You guys have flyers, scheduling. I mean, you guys have a website, but you guys probably have lives and careers outside of this. What was that moment, Natalie, that you were like, hey, this would be fun we're going to go all in on this. And not only that, we're not going to go half-assed. We're going to make this pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, I've known Phil for like over a decade, and he told me like a couple years back, like, hey, like I have this idea, I have this dream that I want to like bring music and soccer like together. And like Phil was saying, like we started like hosting these like pickup games at like local parks, and like at the time I was also working in like music, and so I was doing a lot of like festivals and that kind of thing. So that kind of like took over like my day to day, and now I'm able to like accommodate like putting everything on the table for like this league. I have like a stable job where I know when I'm going to get off of work, and I know when I can start working on stuff for the league. And it's all about timing. I really feel like everything was like right where it's supposed to be. And like Phil came back and was like, hey, like let's do it, let's do this league. And so it was like a Saturday, and like my brother showed up and like 4 other people, and then before you know it, like 4 weeks later, we had like a form and folks were signing up, and then we started tracking people down to like pay the registration, and all of this was like we just started like crunching numbers, you know. And then Phil was like, hey, I want to get some jerseys. I was like, oh snaps, like you're trying to go. Like working with Phil has been such a pleasure because it's like really like pushed me to like think bigger, you know. It's not like we're not in the little leagues, like we're in the big leagues. When you work for Phil, like he's gonna put you in like, we're gonna get jerseys, we're gonna get banners, we're gonna get patches, we're gonna do a pizza party, and like
sponsors.
We have sponsors.
Like, I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like, and it's coming together. I just got a pupusa and taco vendor tonight.
Oh, now you're speaking to the chat.
Hey.
Now you're speaking to the chat.
Yeah.
Pupusas.
Yeah, no,
Salt Lake
now,
chat. You heard
now,
that.
Now chat stood up and was like, pupusas and tacos.
Yeah, like,
and soccer. Oh man.
like
real
yeah,
quick,
my tias are coming. My tias are coming, and like they're hungry.
I gotta give Natalie her flowers, man. She's been dealing with all the permits, all the insurance. She's been dealing with the vendors that we have coming on Sunday. The 4 commissioners, we've kind of worked on everything together, but when it comes to hitting the ground running during season play, we've sort of divided or delegated our roles. And Natalie's dealing with all vendors and sponsors on the ground. George is dealing with refs and gameplay issues. Daniel's dealing with all players and player relations. And I've got a lot of the Desert Days crew coming out to like help put up banners and flags. And the pageantry is going to be
Day ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, heart and soul, you know?
Yeah. And you know, it's pretty awesome because I Ananda, can you bring up that flyer again? Because I loved this. At the bottom right, it says, and a pizza party. So we can party like we just played our first AYSO game as kids. Because we've spoken a bunch about that concept about at heart, soccer is, you know, just going out there and playing like we did when we were kids, right? We got to remember that. And so I loved that sentiment. It's beautiful, right? But I do got to ask, is this, who's this league for, right? Is it for like Charlie Hustle? Is it for somebody like me who's had a couple too many pupusas, but, you know, still wants to play a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes, you are welcome. Everyone is welcome. Like all walks of life play in this league, all shapes and sizes. Everybody's welcome. Girls, boys, dogs, cats, everybody.
Oh man, you got Air Bud up in there? Nice.
Air Bud.
And guys, really quick too, just location wise, if everyone's wondering like what's the logistics of this thing. So we play the league is held at Glassell Park, which is the city Highland Park. Is that right, Phil?
Oh, it's right on the border of Eagle Rock and Glassell.
Yeah,
Park.
to the Eagle Rock. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So yeah, if you guys are wondering about that, but really quick, I wanted to ask you guys, you know, you guys have been talking about everything that you've been doing to really stand up this league, which is really awesome. And guys, like everyone's like going off on the pupusas now in chat, like I expected.
Yeah.
But you know, if you think about it, maybe a couple of years from now, what does success look like for you guys? You know, what are you trying to build this thing into?
So my dream is to really bring my 2 loves together, soccer and music. And, you know, I see this expanding to other markets around the country, you know, with that DD soccer brand, because it's, you know, the origin of that is music, but it also ties in together soccer. And it's funny, like, you know, I wear many hats in the music industry. I produce this festival. We produce concerts. I own a small booking agency. So I'm constantly emailing with promoters, talent buyers, musicians, you know, venues around the country. And like at least once a week, someone from Toronto or Seattle or Miami or whatever be like, oh my God, I saw that league you're doing. If I was in LA, I'd be playing with you. And I respond and I say, start the Toronto chapter, you know? So that's one part of the future vision. Another part is like, I'd really love to do like a proper festival that ties soccer and music together, where the bands that are playing on the festival are playing in a soccer tournament. So let's just say it's the Gorillas and Mars Volta are on the lineup, right? They're playing a show that night. They're playing in a soccer tournament during the day.
That sounds terrible, Phil. Soccer and amazing bands and pizza parties and all your friends and community out Why would we want to do some? No, that
Because
sounds
we don't like
really
fun,
amazing,
man. We just don't like
Yeah.
fun.
No, that sounds. I mean, Natalie. I mean, there's a Galaxy supporter like benefit that they put together, and they put together some charity games and stuff like that, and they'll use Galaxy Park every once in a while to do that. Could we maybe eventually see maybe like a DD Soccer League All Stars versus like a Galaxy supporter team All Star, like maybe charity match, or like just like a one-off match?
Ooh, taking
Yeah,
notes.
that sounds
taking notes.
cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
y'all heard Galaxy
that crossover's
fans.
got to come soon. Yep.
Y'all heard Galaxy fans. I will put together team Galaxy supporter, and you guys could put together team DD, and I'll go ahead and manage that one, and we'll try to make it like something cool for a nonprofit or something like that. So that again, in the spirit of helping out and bringing together community, we can actually make this not only something fun to do, but something that helps people out as well. Guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll go ahead and leave you with this last question here. What does that DD Game Day experience? I know, obviously the opener is going to be amazing, but what is like the normal game day experience going to be like, and why would it be like different than going to somewhere else to play in LA, or just like a like your local rec league?
I think
Go ahead, Natalie.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of thought like that's put into this league. Like if you just like go to like the website like tomorrow, like you'll see like all the like the personality that's like tied into like the artwork and like the detail. Like it's not just like let's just get 8 teams to play soccer. There's a lot of like love that goes into it, and it all comes from, I would say, Phil, because like he's the mastermind of like this whole thing. I'm just the person that like supports
no. Listen, I gotta
like he
stop
tells
there.
me we're doing a league in
Natalie-
November. I'm like, oh shit, okay, let's fucking do it in November.
No, I have to disagree. Natalie and George and Daniel, like I could not have done this without them, and they have brilliant ideas on the daily, and I'm always like inspired by them. And we're just kind of feeding each other with new ideas. But like what really sets this apart is, and people are probably wondering like, well, how does this bring music and soccer together? Like we play to music the entire time. We have this playlist that we've been adding to for months and months. It's like 9 hours long at this point. So we're playing the music, and then each team has a walkout song and a song that plays when they score.
Oh yeah.
And then
like
eventually we're gonna have bands play like at the games and DJs and stuff like that. But there's also lots of like, it's a party. There's going to be a coffee vendor and food vendors, and Field Soccer Supply is going to be there. They have the cool custom soccer gear, and ProSoccer.com is going to be there, and Era Vital protein drink will be there, and we have some merch, and so it's just like it's fun for the whole family. Everybody's welcome. It's just going to be a fun, positive environment, and we're going to be in the sun, and it's just going to be really fun.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming by. We do appreciate it. Of course, guys, if you're just joining us, we had on Phil and Natalie, 2 of the commissioners from DD Soccer League. They are kicking off this weekend on Saturday, the 23rd at Glasso Park. And on to bring back that graphic. I'm not done with that. I want to call out again the attention to detail. They have these 8 teams that are going to be kicking off. And you guys, if you guys have been looking for a league, looking for a team, go out to this event and see what it's about, and take some fellow G's with you. And
every Sunday, man, every Sunday for the next 7 weeks.
Let's get it. I know that if I can get medically cleared by doctors, I'll be out there. Maybe I can sign a 90-day contract for Pupusas. I'll do that.
There you go.
Guys, I lied. One more question for you. You guys know how difficult it is to pick up a result in any kind of soccer game when you're down a man, when you've had a man sent off, especially when you're in a deep losing streak and you haven't been able to win at home and you can't get goals. Somehow, the Galaxy got that win last night against their rival, San Jose Earthquakes, with 10 men. They end up winning 1-0. Just really quick, what is that feeling like? I know that you guys have probably experienced like that, something like that on the pitch. Natalie, let's hit you first and then end with you, Phil.
Okay, so I think it's just like taking like every play as like an opportunity to like finish. So like if it's a pass, like you always want to like follow through, even though you may think like, oh, that pass is just another pass. Like, no, that pass can lead to like your next goal. And that's like 2 minutes left on the game. You know, you always want to take every like step after that, like seriously, so that you can win with 10 men down.
Yeah, Galaxy definitely showed that last night. After, might I add, I remember all you guys on Monday, Gunetos, were in chat saying that the Galaxy, we're going to drop this one. We have receipts. We can go back and pull those. But let's not, for your sake. Phil, let's go ahead and end with you.
I'll just end it with this. All adversity is an opportunity for you and your team to bond together and like rise to the occasion.
Great point.
And when you pull that off together, you're bonded for life. And that's true in sports. It's true in concert production. It's true in any medium. And like watching Team USA be down 10 men during the World Cup and pull that off made me emotional, you know? So, you know, we're playing on a small field at DD Soccer League. So it's, you know, it's not as monumental, but we'll see. We'll see what happens this season. We've got rules. We've got referees. It's not a free for all. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see a team down from 6 to 5 men, and women. We're 6v6.
I can't wait to see what happens. I know that. Again, I've seen the work that has gone into this, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it. So we'll be checking in with you guys for sure. So thank you guys again for being here. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Phil. We'll see you guys again very soon.
Loved it. Had a great time, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
See
you soon.
Bye.
And again, guys, if you're at all interested in joining a team, go ahead and watch out for this league. Go ahead and go out to the event, have some pupusas, make some friends. You know, this is how beautiful friendships start. So go out and surprise yourself pleasantly. We do have a $5 super chat from El Hermano G Cam. He says, I apologize for my microwave going off 3 times. Raquinho is over for dinner. Como come? Yeah, I've had Raquinho for meals, and yes, the little guy eats a hell of a lot. But of course, Ananda knows that because Ananda just actually went to a pot pie making class with Raquinho, and you know they learned how to make a delicious pot pie. But anyway, the Galaxy put together a tasty treat of their own for Galaxy fans because they finally got that win that Galaxy fans needed, that they craved, and they did it with just about the strongest possible lineup that they could have fielded. Ananda, go ahead and take us through what you saw from the starting lineup.
Yeah, like you said, it was the strongest possible lineup. We saw Julian Aude step in for John Nelson at left back, Chucky Lozano with his full debut at home. And yeah, I mean, again, this is the strongest possible lineup. Of course, Sergio Roberto is probably going to be part of that strongest lineup in the future. But I mean, the lineup, hopefully, well, again, right now, the lineup kind of picks itself, hopefully. And I mean, this is, if you look at this on paper, this is a really strong starting 11 for the Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, according to the lineup sheet, they had everybody except for Klaus and of course Ricky available, unless and Winder. Of course, Winder does come into the calculus because Greg has been playing him a lot, but I really don't know if Klaus starts over Kyogo in this, or do you think that he would kind of come in, or do you think they play a different system to fit Kyogo and Klaus into the lineup?
Yeah, I think it's just horses for different courses, right? I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but let's get everyone healthy first. That's been a huge issue for this team.
Yeah, it definitely has, and of course the Galaxy did play a match just a couple days ago, so that's why the change out for Nelson, and they have another game coming up again really soon, so we might see that switch again. But Ananda, we usually have that player spotlight here. Who I think ahead of the show we decided that we were kind of going to pick our player spotlight and kind of explain why we picked them.
Yeah, well, I know we took a quick look at Chucky, but I want to actually take a look at his full debut. So he's got the 60 some odd minutes that he played. Of course, he played some of that with 10 men, so a man down. But a couple interesting things, Rob. I mean, his FOTMA rating was pretty good. Of course, he was playing, like I mentioned, a few of those minutes against 10 or with 10 men against 11. So if you see on his heat map, he is a little bit withdrawn. Of course, when the Galaxy are at full strength, we want to see him higher up the pitch. We want to see him getting into those more dangerous situations. But a couple of things that I thought that was interesting, and then I'm going to ask you. I'm actually going to turn it over to you. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Of course, who your player was, but also I thought Chuki's presser was very interesting, and I wanted to highlight that for a second because I think this is probably the right time to talk about it. But so you look at the expected goals, like I said, you want to see Chucky in more. You want to probably see Chucky as more of the finisher than the playmaker. I could be wrong about that for people that have followed his career maybe throughout Napoli and the Mexican national team and all that. But for this team, I think he needs to be a finisher. Like he's a very clinical finisher in front of net, and for this team, I think. For the best version of this team, I think he needs to be the finisher. Again, chances created, 2 chances created, pretty good there, especially playing some of those minutes against 10 men, like I mentioned. But I think, though, one of the things that was interesting, Rob, when I looked at the stats a little bit deeper, he was fouled 5 times, won 7 out of 11 duels. What I thought was interesting was when Chucky Lozano kind of cut inside from that left-hand side into the midfield, he was one of the few players on this team other than Robert Taylor, which we're going to get to in a second, that would thrust through the middle and sort of give that team that like incisiveness through the middle. We usually play out to in. Greg's talked about that a lot. Chucky's one of those guys that can take men on in the middle. And right now, without a guy like Eric Tommy, for example, without a guy like Ricky, for example, Chucky took that on a little bit. I thought that was interesting. Could we see that a little bit more as Chucky cutting in more inside and maybe Julian Aude providing that overlap? On the touchline on the left wing, because you're not going to see Chucky out on the touchline. You're going to see him more operate in the middle and left half spaces for me. So I think that's something to watch for sure. But I've got to talk about the presser. I just thought, if I look at his quotes for a second, I thought it was super interesting. And you were in the room, so I wanted to get your feeling because you felt sort of the temperature of the room, but. What he said about, I thought what was interesting or was notable, what he said post-match about, has the move to LA been worth it? His quote was, "I'm very happy and very grateful for the club for giving me the opportunity to play, and I'm super happy." So, of course, he says, no, totally, of course, it's been worth it. I would choose the Galaxy again, and the truth is I have no words for what they have done and what they've given me at this moment, and the truth is that from the board, the players, this coaching staff had received me in the best way, and I think even the fans. So I have no words, and I'm very grateful, and I think you see that a lot, especially in his work rate. The last couple of games, the work rate has been spot on for Chucky Lozano. The attitude, the application, and I think that's what you want. Though, remember, the fans' sort of displeasure with this signing was not because of his talent, but maybe it's because of his off-the-field stuff. Could that affect his work rate, his application, his desire, his commitment? I think we're seeing a fully committed Chucky Lozano in the first 2 games.
Well, yes. Your last sentence was big because it's been 2 games, but you're absolutely right. He's done and said everything exactly spot on so far. And you mentioned that temperature, that feel, that vibe. It was super easy when he was in the room and he was speaking with us. Apologies, by the way, to all the Cuneros out there. I tried to bring you the press conference and just that damn internet and the press conference room is not good. And so
we might have to upload those post after and get you guys the full audio. But anyways, yeah,
we're going hot spot, Cuneros. We're going hot spot. But anyway, well that'll be another discussion for another time. But anyway, no, it just really seemed it was really easy. He was really forthwith. He seemed genuine. He looked happy. He looked relaxed. He looked like a God damn, I don't want to be cliche, but he looked like a man that was free. Yeah, everybody was laughing. Everybody was kind of, he was fantastic with press and in English and Spanish, patient during the translations. I mean, yeah, no, just no complaints. And like you said, that was just off the field. On the field, he, you know what I dug? At full time, he had already been subbed out, of course, but he ran on the field. But he stopped, gave Greg a hug, and then ran on the field to join his teammates in celebration. Like, obviously, this is a guy that's played in Europe and stuff like that, and he wasn't too cool for school, but B, he made it a point to go out there and be with his teammates and share in the moment because it was a huge win. Gaxon needed it. He said it. Like, I wanted to win this one very badly, and the team needed it. And they got it.
Yeah, but Papa, now I wanted to ask you, now we've got two pretty good left wingers because the guy who deputized for him, and this is the part that I miss, and I want to get your thoughts on this. You called it. You texted me. He was like, "Hey, he was really good." And so, what did your eye test talk to me about Robert Taylor and the impact that he made coming off the bench, deputizing for Chucky in that left wing spot? It sounded like he changed the game for the Galaxy without having a goal or an assist.
Yeah, he lifted the mood. There was a brightness and energy. There was a moment where he went on a mazy little run and got through maybe 3 or 4. I want to say maybe 5, perhaps. San Jose players, and only his final shot let him down. If he had scored that, we're supposed to be quiet in the press box. I probably would have had to start cheering or something like that because it would have been a worldie, right? Like it would have been a fantastic individual solo goal. And to your point, I mean, the man has been slated. I mean, when he got signed, people were like, "What? It's only Robert Taylor." I mean, he was a former DP in Miami. So it's not like he's not skilled. Not saying that every DP is skilled. We've seen some DPs come and be absolute trash, but he is not one of them. You guys got to remember that when Messi joined the league, one of the prime beneficiaries was Robert Taylor, and this man was for a moment
he was really good.
Yeah, I mean, not even for just a moment. For the rest of that season, he was really good. So
I feel really good. I feel really good about our left wing options. Chucky Lozano and Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor coming off the bench. I know a couple of you guys were talking about that in chat. I don't think he should be a starter, but I think coming off the bench, last 20, last 30, he can play left, he can play right, he can play through the middle if we need to. He's a guy like Eric Tommy, a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, but knows how to play the game, knows how to get in the right positions. By the way, not only the mazy run for that chance that you had, but also for the JP chance where JP tried to Trivela it as well. So Robert Taylor definitely was felt in this game.
Yeah, like I said, too bad he didn't get a goal or an assist to reward his good work, and not only that, but just the general lift. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you're listening on audio and not just flashing the photo of Harbor arms wide open like Scott Stapp running through there, and he is just really what is that phrase? Like you're really G'd up or like geed up. Like
no pun intended.
Hype.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Like you're just hype, right? And Harbor was. I remember he before the goal he made a tackle, or it might have been afterwards. I'm not sure. I'm on the timing, but he made a tackle at one point, and he celebrated it just as much as his goal. And he got up and went over to Victoria Block, and he just roared, and they roared right back at him. I mean, it's been a while since you saw that kind of passion, and props to him. props to Taylor for kind of creating that moment. I really feel like it was like a total shift once he came on, and I credit him with giving them that platform, and also the defense as well, the entire back four, for giving them the platform to go ahead and get this win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything you want to talk about I mean, there was obviously a couple flashpoints in the game. But I mean, you know what? I was going to ask this to chat. Chat, why is it that the Galaxy seem to play better with 10 men? Like, what's the deal? Like,
both games in a row.
Like, what is the deal, right? Like, why is it? You guys, you can sound off in chat. I'm curious to hear your guys's. I mean, I have my own thoughts and conclusions, and I mean,
Well, tell us. I actually haven't really sat down and gone analytical on it. So I'm curious to hear what you think.
Well, I think Greg talked about it too post match, and maybe some of the players alluded to it. I think they just play. Everything becomes crystallized when you're down a man, and I think the overthinking stops, and it becomes an instinctual game, sort of like the passing and moving, the triangles that Greg wants to create, the overloads. You know, he's his favorite phrase, right? Numerical and time advantages. Those things, it's almost like your concentration level increases as a player, because now you're a man down, right? And it's very clear that what you have to do, and all the little movements and all the little things that you have to do on the pitch. And so I just think the Galaxy, maybe well, a couple things. One is that, but then the other thing too is, and I think we've talked about this with this team, but now we need to see it from minute 0 all the way to 90, which is, it increases your sense of desperation. You become desperate. Like, you have no other choice, right? So as a team, the spirit goes up, the concentration levels goes up, and the level of want and desperation goes up too. And I think in this game, you saw that. You saw the Galaxy, especially in that second half. So shout out to Greg, because he delivered a good enough halftime speech for the team to be
masterclass.
Well, he did something at halftime, right? He did something. He said something. So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not being ironic or sarcastic. I mean, he
but I think
let a win, man.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing, right? And that's that's probably the more frustrating thing with Galaxy fans is, where's this desperation from minute 0? Like, we want to see that urgency.
And where is this
from
play?
Minute 0 to 90?
And where's this play on the weekly? You know, that's a frustration, because Galaxy fans have seen the best of this team, and they can hang with any team in this league, and it's only through individual error and shooting themselves in the foot most of the time that they lose. And they've been in the margins and they've been on the wrong side of the margins. I actually asked Greg that question yesterday, because last week they were in the margins and they had Emilio got us sent off, and they weren't able to get anything from that match. And in this one, again, they were in the margins after Lucas Sanabria had been sent off for a second yellow just before the half. And rather than fold, the Galaxy took everything that San Jose threw at them. I mean, you mentioned JT Marcinkowski. He was immense, kept him in it in the first half. I mean, I already mentioned the back line. I mean, the second shutout in 3 matches. And if not for that penalty by Nelson, they probably would have had a third straight shutout in that match as well. And honestly, the goal was just a product of being patient and picking your moment, not exposing yourself too much, doing what you needed to do to get to that moment. I talked about that platform, and everybody gave their teammate a platform to succeed by playing for each other, by covering for each other. And really, it's a shame to say this, but I don't think this game goes down the way it goes down if Kyogo does score in the first half on that pretty much breakaway that he had, because Galaxy go up 1-0, and most likely San Jose, they push for that tie, and who knows if it goes down the way it goes down here. But massive win for the Galaxy. I mean, this is their first win in 6 attempts at home. One win, their first win in the past 7 games in all competitions. And the fact that they got it down a man against their oldest rival in just the worst of conditions, because no one had faith in them. Cuneros, I know y'all didn't have faith in them. We talked about predictions. I said that it would be a tie. You know, I will bring that back. Big D, he had faith in them. He said they would win. So shout out Big D wherever you are. So well, he was a brujo. I told him. I think I told him that night. You're a brujo, man. So a couple other match stats to go through. JT Marcinkowski and the Galaxy defense have not conceded a goal in the last 298 minutes. That's in the run of play, because they did give up a goal, but that was that penalty. Of course, we talked about Chuky's first start. There was a lot of Mexican press in the press conference, and it was really good to kind of see him be able to open up with them and talk about just how much the sport means to him. Guys, Joseph Painso, Harbor Miller, and Marco Royce have now combined to score in each match against the San Jose Earthquakes this season. Joseph Painso especially likes scoring against San Jose. He has 5 goals against them. Marco Royce recorded his team leading 11th goal contribution with that assist. And yeah, I mean, obviously Lucas Sanabria, because of his red card, he will miss the next match against Montreal. I know
actually, I was going to say actually really quick. I think just as a statistician, I think so. Paintsel, that was his 5th regular season goal of the game. Now he's tied for the team lead with Joao Klaus at 5, which is not great. Actually, we don't have a double-digit score. We should have a double-digit score. So
yeah,
but,
no, of course. No, I was talking about goal contributions for
okay,
Marco
got
Royce.
it.
Yeah,
for JP.
Yeah, no. I was saying for Marco Royce, but yeah, no. I heard on JP. So, but that is he also does have 5 against San Jose, so he really likes scoring against them. But San Jose doesn't like scoring against the Galaxy recently. They missed a bunch of big chances, and tell us more about that.
Yeah, that to me, I'm going to pull up the box score for everyone that's watching, but that to me was my big stat. Like 7 chances. 7 out of 7 big chances missed. I mean, you're not going to win games like that. The Galaxy know full well what that looks like. The Galaxy had 2 big chances and they scored on one of them. And you know what? That's where you get the scoreline from. And I thought that was huge. I thought, and you've got to give credit to the Galaxy defense. You've got to give credit to an individual performance like JT Marcinkowski's. 4 huge saves from JT. We might talk about him a little bit later in defending the badge. But I mean, chat really quick, before we start sort of getting to the talking points, I wanted to ask you guys, and this is the question that Rob posed in the Minuto that we dropped yesterday, which is, or earlier today, which is, was this the best Galaxy win of the season? Because if you look at this on paper, like the Galaxy were down and out in the first half. I mean, yeah. Pablo even mentioned it in the half. He turned off the TV, right? I almost turned off my laptop. It was like 5:30 a.m. local time, and I was like, I can't watch any more of this. Like, I even texted you, like, this team is unbelievable, right? They played absolutely dreadful in the first half. Like, let's not like throw a blind eye to it. I mean, they didn't make the right read. They didn't make the right pass at the right time. They tried to do everything themselves, beat 3-4 guys off the dribble and lose it. Like, how many times? I don't want to call certain players out, but you know the players I'm talking about, chat. Trying to do everything themselves. They didn't reward teammates for making the runs, and you know what that does? It's gonna make sure that your teammate does not make the run again the next time in that transition moment or in that final third moment. And of course, it was capped off by another moment of madness from Lucas Sanabria. And Papa, we can't throw a blind eye to that, right? Like, I don't know, chat, what you thought about Lucas Sanabria. Look, for me personally, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna give him the pass for this one, but boy, that was not smart. Like, the first card was not smart at all. The second one, it was a rush of blood to the head. You didn't.
Oh, well, it looks like our friend Ananda was unceremoniously dumped from the internet. Of course, he is streaming from a a remote location, so it looks like either his internet was throttled or he got kicked off or something like that. But Cuneros, we'll kind of keep it going here with you guys until he's back.
Sorry, yeah. Again, sorry. I'm in a janky internet situation, but no.
I was letting the Cuneros know that
Go ahead, let it happen.
Probably got throttled.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
anyway, so you were finishing up.
No. I was just gonna say, like, we have to give Galaxy, and I know like some people don't want to give this credit, but maybe, but I will. Which is Greg said something at halftime. I don't know what it was, but clearly he gave the team, and the team gave themselves a kick up the backside, and like, hey guys, like I said it. I think I tweeted about this like right before the game started. This is a must win for the Galaxy. You look at the standings now. We'll look at the standings later, but this was a must win for the Galaxy. Now the Galaxy have are in a prime position now to get themselves back into the mix, but you had to have this game at home, so we've got to give the Galaxy credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've talked about that defensive showing a couple times, man. And you really got to tip your hat to Maya Yoshida and Jakub Glesnes, because for as much as people want to kind of slag off on Maya Yoshida, this is a guy that together with Jakub Glesnes has gotten a couple of shutouts recently. So that's exactly what you need. Again, we're talking about platforms. He's given them the platform to win. Our friend and colleague, Josh Guessman, aka Pod Padrino Pato, says LA Galaxy win for the first time in 6 games and also get their 4th shutout of the year. It's their 3rd shutout in the last 8 games. Defense has been pushing, and the return of Glesnes and the play of Marcinkowski has been very important. He also says Galaxy defense currently on pace to give up 17 goals less than last season. That is huge. That is, again, a platform in which to be successful. It is not all the way there yet, but it's improvement, and that's what you want to see, right? That's exactly why they're making these moves to try to improve this team, and you're seeing that improvement at least in the goals and the goals shipped. But there's a kind of core group of leaders kind of emerging at the moment, unsung heroes, if you will, guys. I mean, you have, of course, Glesnes, who was already thought of as a leader. Marco Royce is the quiet leader of the group. JT Marcinkowski is leading by example in the defense, and then you have your Harbor Millers, who is doing it by I said earlier, the audacity of youth. I mean, he's not supposed to be this good or this fiery or this instrumental to the team, but yet he is. And
yeah,
he's doing everything right.
Spoiler alert: I'm gonna wax lyrical about him and defending the badge for sure. But Baba, this is the platform that we want, right? This is the core group that we want to see. Because looking forward, this team has to build a foundation, and I think the foundation is starting to be there around guys like Justin Hack, who's been great at number 6, Jakub Glesnes, Harbor Miller, JT Marcinkowski. Now you have a clear number 1 keeper. I think this is something for the Galaxy to build upon, but the question is now, how do they build upon this, not only on, but off the pitch? How does a guy like Sergio Roberto now enhance that? And how do the DP players now you've got to get DP level production right from your DPs, and that's going to be the ingredient to get this team from where they are now to a top team in the Western Conference again, and making a deep run in the playoffs.
Well, slow our roll a little bit. It's as much as I want to get carried away, we also
only
have
one game.
Exactly. We have to look at the totality of everything, and it's a big win. It's a meaningful win, just like Harbor said, but it's one.
Yes.
And I think even they would say, let's not get carried away and let's focus on the next opponent. And we'll also focus on the next opponent here in a moment. But before we do that, let's go ahead and crown a defending the badge winner, Ananda. Obviously, JP had the goal, 4 shots on target, most touches in the opposition box. Harbor had the assist, joint most defensive contributions with 12. Also, he was also really big in in that vibe, in that mood switch, and getting Galaxy fans behind the team and getting his teammates into the moment. Of course, Marcinkowski keeps the team in it. Had he not, this team would have been different. This game would have been different as well. Probably would have been 2-0 at the very least early. And Jakob Glesnes, of course, the other defensive player with the most defensive contributions with 12. Ananda, we have 4 really good shouts right here, but of course you don't need to pick one of these. You can pick whatever you want, man.
No, I am going to pick one of these. And I'm going to, like I said, I mentioned it earlier, I'm going to wax lyrical about Harbor, man. I'm going to make a proclamation now, and I'm going to say it. I think Harbor Miller is the second coming of Julian Araujo. I really do. I think that is his potential with this team. The way he plays, like we haven't had a right back like this, an attacking,
I think he could be
brilliant.
better than Julian Araujo.
They're slightly different players, but I think you're talking now that level of caliber of player.
The versatility is higher.
We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I think that is the level. That is now the potential that we're going to see in Harbor Miller, and that's probably why the front office decided to ship Mauricio Cuevas and Mickey Yamane, because Harbor Miller is the future of this team, right? And I want to put a couple of things in perspective in this. One, because we've already waxed lyrical about he gets it. He's one of us. He understands what it means to carry the badge, right? You talked about his stats. I mean, 12 defensive contributions from a right back. Are you kidding me? But think about this. 2 things. On the defensive side, think about who he's had to match up the last 2 games, Papa. Guilherme, which, by the way, yes, Guilherme did score, but it was off a penalty. It wasn't off of a defensive mistake from Harbor. Harbor shut him down for most of that match. Then who does he face up against this match, Papa? Timo Werner. Big Timo. And again, he shuts him down again, makes some brilliant tackles over on that right-hand side. So the defensive acumen is starting to come full tilt. Then you look on the defensive side. The pass that he makes to JP, that is a Mickey Yamane pass. Like that's what Mickey Yamane was really good at. And we haven't seen anyone make that pass on a dime like that to the back post hardly at all, right? Mo Cuevas was more of an early crosser. He had a couple of nice deliveries as well. But so you look at the game on both sides of the ball from Harbor Miller, that's special. And that's why I'm saying I think he's the second coming of Julian.
You know, I can't argue with the game, man. It was a spectacular performance by Harbor. I don't want to be contrarian for contrarian's sake, and I'm not going to be, but also the goal was huge. You know, it was just a kind of like a tap in, right? But he had to be there, right? He had to follow through, and he had to beat his man and be there. And after missing a bunch of chances, JP finally got one. And you said earlier, you know, like I'm not going to call out these players. Well, I have spoken to JP, you know, face to face, and I respect him too much to waffle about this. I mean, I think that some of his decision making recently has been kind of suspect. I think it's
not been good.
He's been
at all.
He's been wearing that I think that mantle of trying to lead this team so much, or trying to make something happen for this team so much, that he has made the wrong decisions in key moments when he could have passed or when 100%. He should have shot.
Super wasteful. Yep.
And so I think that this moment could have been, just like for the Galaxy in this win, could have been the moment. This could have been the moment for Joseph as well to be like, hey, look, if I do the work, if you know, I do the work and I'm where I need to be, I'll be rewarded. Likewise, you know, I need to reward my teammates as well. You know, because there's been a couple of times where if he had rewarded his teammates probably would have rewarded him with an assist.
But yeah, it makes it super clear for me that the position that you want to get into JP in is having him make it that out to in run and just one touch, like doesn't even need to think, just tap it or hit it. Like I think about that 2024 MLS Cup final goal all the time. Gaston slide rule pass, JP looks up, all he has to do is just hit it. That's it. Like that's an instinctual finish. He doesn't need to dribble. He doesn't need to. That was a nice dribble, by the way, that he did around. I think it was Ricketts on that side, but he doesn't need to do any of that. JP's best position is last man, playing on the last man, playing behind, and just tapping it in. And I think we need to get him into more of those positions.
Yes, we do. Well, I got to give it to him because one would hope that he's going to kick on from this and, kind of learn that balance. So, and it's more of like an aspirational defending the badge award. But I really think it should be co-defending the badge, Miller and JP.
I think it's for me. It's Miller and JP or JT. JT's been absolutely huge, like monstrous saves. Like, but that's good. Like we're talking about multiple players instead of none, right? So that's good. But hopefully,
because there's been a couple of weeks where like, F it, we're just not doing it.
Yeah, we're not even doing it. Like no one deserves it, right? But well, hopefully now we'll have a few multiple defending the badge candidates as we take a little trip over across the border into Canada against Montreal.
Yes, the LA Galaxy traveled to Kanaka, aka Canada, for the first time since May 21st, 2018. The Galaxy will face off against Montreal. They're going to be going to Montreal for the first time since 2018, like I mentioned. That'll be Saturday at 4:30. So, geez, that'll be an earlier match for you. It won't be 7:30. It'll be 4:30. So by the time it's done, you'll still have all evening to be really, really happy or really, really bummed out. This will be the 10th all-time meeting between the two teams. The Galaxy has a 5-1-3 record. They've won the last 4 matches, and they've outscored Montreal 9-1 in that span with 3 clean sheets. The Galaxy also claimed a 4-0 win in the latest match in 2022. And we mentioned it already. This is a reunion match. The Galaxy will reunite with their former teammate, Galaxy defender, Academy player, and Galaxy 2 player, and then first team player, Jalen Neal, a.k.a. The Truth.
Shout out Galaxy Mom.
Yeah, shout out Galaxy Mom, a.k.a. The Truth. Jalen, we miss you. Venite al show. So he will be hopefully lining up against the Galaxy, and we get to watch them face off against each other. So shout out Jalen, and also this might be a chance to see Alexis Sanchez for all you that haven't had a chance to check him out yet recently. He has become the new DP for Montreal. We have a super chat. Ananda,
thank you, Crazy.
Thank you, Crazy. $5 super chat. He says, "Is the summer window still open? Any insight if we're picking up any more players this year?" I believe so. I believe it's September something. I'll go ahead and check.
Yeah, that. September. I thought it might have been the end of this month. I need to probably look that up. I'll probably look that up as we're talking. But Papa, did you heard anything maybe in the pressers? I know it hasn't been talked about. By the way, window runs from July 13th to September 2nd is the official, looks like is the deadline. Of course, the Galaxy have a U22 slot open. Papa, I don't know.
That's where I was going with that.
I don't know if you've been hearing anything from the Galaxy front office at all, or anything you can share.
Look, the last time I spoke to Will, he said that, they are still looking to bring in a U22, but again, not to get too hopeful on if this player is going to come in and be transformational. He will most likely be a player that comes in and be more of a project, a player that can grow into the role and grow into the team. So yeah, they're still trying to add that U22 player. Who knows if it'll get done? I mean, you're sitting on 13 days now, so that's not a lot of time. But then again, I mean, we spoke the other day about how Will Kuntz has done a monster job this window. I mean, with the outgoings and incomings. Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot. There's been a lot of turnover. There's been a lot of incomings, and so if somebody can get it done, it's Will Kuntz, right? So we'll see what happens with that. But crazy, the intention is from Will Kuntz to bring somebody in before the window is open. Is if that's that U22, so much the better, right? Let's go ahead and look at the standings before this trip to Canada. The Galaxy have moved up to 10th place after 21 matches. They are on 25 points, 1.19 points per game, 6-8-7 record, 25 goals for, 30 against with a -5 goal differential. They've had a lot of trouble scoring recently, Ananda. Only 3 goals in the last 5 matches. But despite the losing, despite the inability to score, there are only 2 points outside the playoff positions. Montreal, by contrast, they are several places out of the playoffs. After 20 matches, they are in 14th place on 20 points, 1 point per game, a 5-10-5 record, a -10 goal differential with 27 goals for and 37 against. However, their last match was a 2-1 win over Columbus. We brought you that during the MLS Roundup. But before that, they were winless in 8 MLS matches, scoring 5 goals in their last 5 matches.
Sounds like the run the Galaxy were in. So this should make for a very interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah. Well, what do we know about the Galaxy team that might face off against Montreal? We know that Sanabria has that red, and he won't feature. Klaus Puig still out. Winder's still out. But it looks like, aside from that, the Galaxy will have everybody available. Really, the only significant absence for Montreal, Ananda, is Vicky Carmona, Efrain Morales, Frankie Amaya, and Buddy Hidalgo. I mean, they don't feature all that much. I mean, Efrain Morales has 14 matches under his belt, but undoubtedly the biggest miss there is Vicky Carmona. So who do you have in your starting lineup?
Yeah, one thing I was going to say too, Joe 13 brings up a really good point.
Yeah.
Probably no Royce on Saturday. Going to be hard to get any offense. So Marco Royce may be a doubt because we don't know what's going on with his personal situation. Of course, that's kind of touch and go. Like, does he want to take the trip over to Canada and then for something to happen? So we haven't heard anything yet. So I'm sure, guys, just keep watch out for the team news, the official team news tomorrow. But I hope he plays because he's in my starting 11, right? Now, of course, if Royce does not play, I think that's probably a like for like maybe for Eric Tommy, who's back in the mix. But I'm just going to read mine out because mine's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much the same team that played against that started last match against San Jose. But, of course, Lucas Sanabria is suspended. Elijah Winder's out. So I'm just going to book in Isaiah Parente. But I don't know if you recall, but in the second half, Greg had prepared John Nelson and Isaiah Parente off the subs bench, and then he called it off for whatever reason. I think that was smart probably in the end. But I just feel like let's not put square pegs in round holes. Let's put people in everyone's positions. Isaiah Parente, as a sort of fulcrum midfielder, he'll make the double pivot with Justin Hack. He'll kind of keep the tempo going, move the ball side to side. That's what he's pretty good at. That's what you're going to expect from Isaiah Parente. You're going for the 4-4-2. Now, I'm gonna do what you do to me all the time, which is, when is the last time you've seen Greg face 2 strikers? That's all I'm gonna ask you, Bubba. That's all I'm gonna ask you.
I have a rationale. I have
Got it.
Context behind this. I mean,
I like Joe's comment here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not opposed to that for sure. Look, here's the thing about the sign up is that in yours you have Isaiah Parente, and I don't think that Greg has had a lot of faith in him recently, especially when he can play Parente, but he's been playing Gersma a lot. Obviously different kinds of players, but it's interesting to me that the first player or the player off the bench and into the game before Parente is Gersma. So I don't know if Greg has that faith in him right now. So I went. You talked about putting a square peg in a round hole. You don't have to do that in the 4-4-2. I mean, you have you have Hack as a holding, and of course I went on the assumption that Royce would be there as well, and Royce at the 10, Lozano and Taylor at the wings, and then you have JP as the false 9 with Furuhashi as a striker as well. And I like kind of the way that, except that I would kind of switch them. I'd probably go JP on the left and Furuhashi on the right. But yeah, I think that's not kind of going out of the way or trying to force anything at all, really. You're doing your best to get everybody into the right positions.
I'm going to tell you, speaking of your square peg and round hole analogy, I'm going to extrapolate that even more. I cannot see Greg putting a 4-4-2 square in a 4-3-3 round hole. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I wish it would happen. I know
that. Well, Joe 13's like, we're all with you, Rob. We wish, right? We
wish. Yes, I wish too. Guys, well, really, Alexis Sanchez it was just presented. He's the DP, but the man, again, we've spoken about how Father Time is undefeated. The man is 37 or 38. He has quality, but how much does he have left? Undoubtedly, the big force here for this team is Prince Wilsu. 12 goals, 6 assists. Just after him, you have Longstaff with 3 assists and 2 goals. That's basically what you have, right? Wiggy Carmona, I mean, he has a couple of goal contributions as well, but these are going to be your 2 players where you're going to get the most offensive threat for Montreal. So with that in mind, Galaxy fans, let us know what you think this match will end up at. If you think the Galaxy will win this match against Montreal away to get their 2nd win straight. Go ahead and start dropping your predictions in the chat. Let us know what you think this game will end up as. 2nd Galaxy win or crashing back down to earth. But before we get there, Ananda, go ahead and fill in the blank for the Galaxy to win this match. They have to ...
So remember what I said last time, which is the Galaxy need to believe, right? And now that they pulled off this amazing come from behind win that no one expected, especially against 10 men, or not come from behind, but just against all odds, the Galaxy just have to keep believing. They have to keep believing. Like, this is something, Rob, that when we look back at the season, we need to look at this point as an inflection point, as a turning point, and not just as as an exception instead of the rule, right? Like, we need to look at this as a really important moment for this team. It was interesting. I'm gonna track us now all the way back to something Phil said in the interview, right? What we can say about moments like this is it bonds the team together. Like, teams come together. Like, these are critical moments for teams to gel together. And they and that camaraderie and that confidence now builds through the team. And they really need to take that and apply themselves in Montreal. This is not going to be an easy game for a multitude of reasons. You look at the travel. You look at guys like Maya Yoshida, Jakub Glezis. Now they're going to play 3 matches in 7
days.
Longest
road trip as well. Yeah.
And a really, really long road trip, body clock, all that stuff. And we can throw all the typical things that we talk about, right, with MLS road games, especially in this particular case. So all those factors are going to go against you. But now the Galaxy just has to dig deep, just like Harbor Miller. I mean, the guy looked like he couldn't play anymore, and he gave Greg like another couple sprints. Like, they need to dig deep like Harbor. They need to find that extra, whatever it is, and they need to keep believing in themselves and make sure that the other day that was not an anomaly, that is the spirit of this team. And I think if they can do that and at least get a result out of Montreal, we'll talk about score predictions in a bit. I think the Galaxy now will set themselves up because they've got now the next 3 out of the 4 are on the road. So they've got to pick up points along the way. Road games are never 3 points, are never easy, are never, bankers. But against a 14th place Montreal team, you have to take advantage of that situation if you're the LA Galaxy and build on that momentum.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and I'm going to piggyback on yours. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to do more of the same. Just keep that momentum going and keep that performance, that spirit, that fight, that hustle that they had against San Jose. They need to bring it into that match against Montreal. I hope that they won't drop off that level because they see a team that's in 14th place and take them for granted. I hope they keep up that same intensity that they brought against their oldest rival, who is near the top of the table. I hope they bring that same energy and that same spirit and that same fight to this match, because even though Montreal is 14th, they just got to win, so they're not dead. They're not. They can spring a surprise. So go ahead and bring the real. Do exactly as you did, except for the red card. You know what I mean. But anyway, Ananda, we mentioned Dr. Aquino earlier. I know that being so far away, you guys had to have a Zoom call about probabilities this time. Go ahead and let me know what you guys spoke about.
Yeah, Montreal is the home team, 44% win percentage. The Galaxy at 30%. And so you're probably looking at a draw there in the, if I'm doing my math correctly, 25%, something like that. But 30% for the road team is pretty good, Rob. I mean, the bookies are at least giving the Galaxy a chance. But again, we don't know what Galaxy team is going to show up. We hope it's the team that was 10 men against San Jose, digging deep and really fighting for their lives and showing that level of urgency that we talked about earlier. A couple of pre-match insights for you guys. I know you guys are throwing your chat predictions already, your score predictions in chat. Montreal have just won one of their last 5 games. Rob talked about Prince Owusu. He scored in the last 3 games for Montreal, so clearly the danger man for their team. And Rob, there have been fewer than 3 goals scored in total in each of the LA Galaxy's 4 games. So I think this is interesting because I think that now the formula that we're seeing with the Galaxy is they need to keep the score lines tight for them to have a chance to get points in these matches. And hopefully the offense will come through. Like, we're waiting for that breakout offensive performance. Red cards aren't helping, obviously, but that hasn't come yet. So right now the Galaxy are relying on that strong defensive solidity that we talked about as one of the talking points, that foundation to build on. That's going to be the recipe here for the Galaxy to get a result and to get points. And I'm just gonna reel off now some of the predictions in chat. GCAM has 2-1 in Montreal. TM has 4-2 Galaxy. Wow, that would be the offensive outburst that we were looking for there. Nightmare says 2-1 Galaxy, all scored by JP. Okay, fair enough. Joe 13 says 2-1 Galaxy. Greg surprises all. We sit back and counter, carry momentum from last game. Joe 13, all I can say is it's the hope that kills you. My man, I wish and hope for the same as well. But Papa, I will be a good friend and a good co-host and go first. I think I would love for it to be a 2-1. I don't know if the smash and grab is on the cards. I just think like the Galaxy, just physically, they'll wane in the last 20 minutes. I think they're just going to be holding on to dear life, and I think this is going to be a 1-1 stalemate.
It might just be the good feeling, but I'm calling a 2-0. And
Would love that.
And here's why. Like, they've been trending towards getting these shutouts. They should have, by all accounts, 3 straight. And so I will not take the opportunity from them to get that other shutout. I think they're going to do it, especially against a team that doesn't really produce that much. I mean, as long as they can keep but if they can keep Prince Owusu quiet, then they should have a reasonable chance of pulling off another shutout. And if they do, I think they win this one. I mean, they're not creating a lot of chances either, but I think that confidence is going to hit. They get a couple goals. They get back home, or they get into the next game with all 3. That's 2 on the trot.
Oh man, that would be amazing. But I think, and it's not even just like, because I know someone in the chat said or Joe, when I pulled up his comment about playing on the counter, it's not even on that. Like, it's about playing direct. Like, use the talents of Justin Hack when he plays that direct ball to feet of Joseph Paintsel, or that direct ball through the lines. Marco Royce, that direct ball through the lines, right? Like, by the way, what a pivot. We didn't talk about that enough, maybe, but like, what a pivot and turn from Marco, first time to set up Harvey Miller. So the hockey assist, right? But the more the Galaxy play direct, whether that's on the counter, whether that's in a possession phase of play, the more direct the Galaxy are, the better. And I want to see that direct intent, right? So whether it's the direct pass or Chucky and JP taking people on, Harbor taking people on, going in the inside and outside channels. We need to see more of that. But again, I just think physically is where my mind is going in this game. I think physically it's going to take its toll, Papa. It's a long trip. Three games and 7 matches. I don't know if the Galaxy just have it in them physically to apply that pressure that we want. Because look, man, playing against 10 men in the last 2 games, that takes its toll on you physically. I can imagine Harbor was absolutely wrecked after the last game. Like players like him, they exerted so much physically, and I just don't know if they're going to have the physical capacity. Look, 1 point on the road, I'll take it. Would love 3. So maybe there's a smash and grab 2-1 on the cards, but head pick is 1-1 for me.
Well, let's see what we have here, because I want to be that realist that says yes, they haven't been playing that well. It's a long trip and everything like that, but I really do think that San Jose win is going to give them that springboard, that momentum to push them over that edge. And again, it's the hope that kills you. They've done me dirty before, but I think they're gonna pleasantly surprise all of us here, because
and that would set up an amazing San Diego tie now away to San Diego. 3 wins on the trot after San Diego. What a headline that would be. What a story that would be for you to write.
It would be a good time to go down there and see a Galaxy team on the upswing, and maybe Chucky get a couple of goals against his old team. But guys, we have our predictions. We have your predictions. And I think we have come to the end of our show. We want to say thank you once again to Phil and Natalie of the DD Soccer League and the rest of the commissioners. Go ahead and put that down, Ananda. We don't need any of that. But anyway, shout out to everybody that was in chat. We do appreciate it. And anything else to add before we get on out of here? Ananda.
No, just really quick. Shout out to the Highbury squad that's in the chat. So shout out Big Sophie, wherever you are. Thanks for joining.
The first lady of soccer.
The first, exactly. But no, chat. Just thank you guys so much for joining us. I just hope that, again, I just can't seem to think, like, we look back at this moment and we say, like, what a big win for this Galaxy team. We look at like a deep playoff run. We're like, this was the moment, right? We think about 2024, that 4-2 come from behind win against LAFC was the moment for that particular team. I'm not saying this team's going to win MLS Cup, but what I am saying is this might be the start of something. And like you always say to me, it's the hope that kills you. But you know what? I'm going to keep believing, and I'm just going to keep hoping, because if not, then what's the point of supporting and covering this team, which we all love? So chat with that bombshell. I just want to say we love y'all, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, chat. And Ananda's right. It's hope that kills you, but it's also the hope that sustains you. It's also the hope that gives us that reason for opening our eyes to a brand new day, and a reason to get into the stadium for that next match, or to turn on the TV and support that team again, no matter how much they've hurt you before. You live for those moments in which they surprise you and they win a man down, just like they did against San Jose. Let's hope they can keep that going against Montreal. Next Monday on this humble little pod, on Monday, August 24th, we'll be reacting to the Galaxy's win, loss, or draw from the weekend's trip to Canada to visit Jalen and his team, CF Montreal. Until we meet again. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we do have as our guest for the evening, Katia Casarena from ESPN. So go ahead and
yes, sir.
Go ahead and keep it locked here, guys. We're gonna have a great guest on Monday, just like we had a great guest tonight. Great guests tonight, rather, plural. So go ahead and keep it locked here. Like I said, go ahead and like and subscribe to this podcast, and we will catch you next time. There's only one thing left to say, right?
Other than puro sexys, Rob.
Oh, man. Puro sexys.
Puro chulos aquí.
Oh, man. Flattery will get you everywhere, sir. All right. Here we go. Puro sexys. Dale, indeed. Jesus.